What's up, Internet? This is Techly's resident American Evan, and we're here today to review the long-awaited Master Chief Collection for Xbox One. Get ready to suit up, Spartan. So, Halo. In case you haven't heard, it's kind of a big deal. A system-selling, brand-building, uber-recognizable franchise that launched Bungie to game dev megastardom and turned the 20-kilogram monster that was the original Xbox into a must-have piece of tech way back in 2001. And now the franchise has come to the Xbox One. Well, sort of. While we're still waiting on the first original Halo for the system, the fine people at Microsoft have polished up Halos 1 through 4, slapped them on a single disc, and called the whole shebang the Master Chief Collection. Gameplay-wise, this is Halo. From the OG title to the flashier, more modern Halo 4, the included games are what we've come to expect over the years. They're slower in pace, more methodical, full of military vehicles, massive gun battles, and diverse settings ranging from coastal plains to jungles to urban war zones. If you're expecting changes on the gameplay end, in other words, you're going to come away upset. But let's be honest here. Halo is so popular because the formula Bungie created works so well. If these titles didn't feel exactly like their originals, it would have been a lot more disappointing. The graphics are a different story. Though Halo 2 is the only game to get a full-on overhaul with completely redone visuals down to the cutscenes, every game in the Master Chief Collection gets a 60 FPS, 1080p spit shine at minimum. For later titles like Halo 3 and 4, which looked awesome to begin with, this isn't a big deal. For 1, which is based on 2011's Halo CE Anniversary, and 2, it's a noticeable, often vast improvement. The latter two even let you switch back and forth between the updated and original graphics on the fly, giving you a direct reference point. Especially with 2's Xbox One redone graphics, the difference is mind-blowing. Another big change comes in the form of playlists, which lets you play curated collections of popular Halo levels by category. Want vehicles? Several games in the MCC have a list for that. All-time classic levels? It's still got you covered. Throw in competitive score and time leaderboards and instant access to difficulty-modifying skulls, not to mention the awesome skull that turns headshots into confetti, and you have even more reason to replay the series, even if you've already beaten all 4 games. To put this all another way, Master Chief Collection is, by default, the best Halo product on the market from a single-player perspective. It's a Halo game for sure, but when you plunk down $100 Australian on a game bearing that name, it's a fair guess that's exactly what you're looking for. I'm sure the multiplayer will be just as good, with a sad emphasis on will be. Though I tried to get some serious MP action in before this video's deadline, game-wide server issues, which Microsoft is predictably taking a ton of abuse for right now, left me staring at this screen most of the time instead. Yeah. Believe me when I say it was frustrating. Incredibly frustrating. The good news is the one match I was able to play, a Team Slayer engagement on Halo 1's sorely missed Hang'em High level, was a straight up blast. I had more fun with that 15-minute or so encounter than I did my entire time with the single player, and I had a lot of fun with the single player. That's saying something. I can only assume 2, 3, and 4's multiplayer offerings are just as faithful and fun. The single-player portions are translated so well there's really no way they can't be. But as it sits, I can only speak to my solitary Halo 1 multiplayer experience, however fun that experience was. I've only had a night with Master Chief Collection so far, and while I'm very unhappy with the server issues, the single-player fun almost makes up for the temporary lack of multiplayer. If you're a Halo fan, there's enough content here to keep you engaged for a very long time. But if you're a Halo fan and you own an Xbox One, you undoubtedly already have this game, or at least plan to get it. If you're not a Halo fan, or you somehow haven't played the series and you still have an Xbox One for some reason, the answer's a little more complicated. Halo is one of the most influential FPSs of all time, and its gameplay holds up far past the nostalgia value. That's especially true considering the graphical overhaul 2 got. But $100 Australian for 4 games is a lot of money when the originals can be purchased for a lot less. I'd say rent it, try it, and then buy it if you end up liking it, which I assume you will. This is Halo after all. Once again, this is Evan Wade with Techly, and this has been our review of Master Chief Collection for Xbox One. I'd have something clever to say here, but I need to go back and play some Halo right now. I'll see you all in a few months.